Alright guys, I'm gonna be changing the starter on a 2007 RDX. So the first thing we're gonna do is to remove the battery terminals, remove the bracket for the intake manifold, remove the connectors for the wiring harness, and then hopefully we'll be able to access the starter from there. There's one bolt right here and one on the inside, so it's going to be a little challenge to do that. So intake manifold bracket has a nut right here. It's about 12mm, and a bolt right here which I already removed. Once you get those off, it's ready to be taken out. Alright, so once you get the bracket out of the way, you have now room to loosen up the battery terminal for the starter and remove the connector for the solenoid. So I ended up taking one of the cooling fans off just to have a little bit of space to remove the starter bolt. This is 17mm bolt, and it's so tight, so without any room to work on, it's very difficult to take that bolt off. Alright, to get the inner bolt for the starter, I had to use an extension with a wobble connector on the tip, 14mm socket, deep socket, and you really need a really strong arm to loosen it up because it's really tight. So we got the new starter on, we got the 17mm bolt on. So now we're gonna try to put the 14mm on the inner side of it. Tighten it up. Get the long extensions, 6 inches. Tightening up the inner bolt first, 14mm. Almost done. Now tightening up the 17mm. That one is done. Now I'm gonna reconnect the battery terminals. There you go. Alright, now I'm gonna tighten the battery terminal right here. It's at 12mm. Make sure you don't over tighten it. Then you pull the rubber boot cover the whole thing. It's a good one right there. You connect the solenoid connector right here. Now we can test if the starter works, and finish up the wiring harness and the intake manifold bracket. Alright, now we're going to try to start it before finishing up the wiring harness. Go ahead and start it. Oh, nice. It worked. Go ahead and turn it up. Finish it up. Alright, everything is done. Got everything back in place. Dealer is asking about $1,200 plus if you're going to require towing, that's extra $200 to $300, so $1,500 total. So if you know how to do this, you'll save a bunch of money.